That could be my own computer. So.
I'm gonna start recording, by the way. We'll need to upload later by myself. I haven't done it to the cloud directly yet, but see how that goes. So let's move on to the agenda. I see the first point is now taking on. We're recording. So Brendan, it's your next point.
Yeah, I missed last week's meeting. I noticed that my name was on that one item. So I didn't know if you needed anything from me on it or.
As far as I remember, I believe the previous one did or didn't. No, I did meet with Jason. We walked through the features a little bit, but everything was looking quite well. So there was a very short meeting. I wouldn't say you missed anything in particular. I do have some questions though, which you perhaps may be able to answer on what has got shipped in 11.8. So for example, the dashboard feature, I believe we missed it, right? Or did it get in eventually after all?
Yeah, dashboard we missed. So that did not make it in. It's really close. So I'm pretty confident for 11.9. But between the issue of the badges, badges wasn't even the issue. Like taking that out, we still didn't make it. Like there was a bunch of back-end stuff. Back-end was still looking for a review, and there was still some outstanding stuff on front-end. I think Philippa and Scott got through the front-end stuff, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
But the back-end still was needing a review.
Then let's ship that in 11.9.
Exactly. Yeah. I announced that it missed in the 11.9 kickoff / that we would be shipping it in 11.9.
Let me taking the issue board for verifier. Is there any particular item you want to discuss?
No. I just saw that walkthrough of that feature listed on the 2.4, and I was just wondering if you needed any input from me on the. I'm not really up to speed on the web terminal stuff, but.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That is a question more asked in. I saw that issue. Let me look it up. Terminal. That's for 11.8, isn't it?
It missed. It was for 11.9, but it missed 11.9's capacity planning too. So it's 11.10 currently scheduled.
Okay, so my question there was towards Jason is that, the issue was around enabling terminals for the Web IDE. Mm-hmm. And I thought, maybe, when I worked with James Ramsey on the Web IDE, we often did like a walkthrough of the feature or the entire flow. And as we were now enabling a big new part of the Web IDE, the terminal, I thought it might be interesting for us to be able to get a walkthrough by an engineer that walks us through the feature as how it's designed and developed, and perhaps check on if it's working as it should be, and note and jot down anything.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I mean, this feature, right? Yeah, I mean, the feature was shipped in 11.3, right? Like the feature of an interactive web terminal.
Yeah.
The idea of this, I mean, I totally want to walk through of it too, so I think that still makes sense. This issue is to enable that on GitLab.com, so it's not adding anything to the feature.
True.
It's mostly backstage work for how we're going to securely enable it on .com. But yeah, I mean, I think there'd be value in walking through that feature when we get to it. It's not going to be this release; it's going to be 11.10. But I agree.
Okay, good.
It's probably not an L thing for anybody on Verify at least. So
I hope it's going to be. I played with Code Sandbox and what's the other thing called? Replit.
Yep. Or CodePen.
Yeah, and there's another one. I can't currently think of the name, but they have working Docker containers as well, which you can run code live as you're coding. Works pretty nice, I gotta say. It's nice to be able to do that and to do it that easily. And I wonder how we're comparing in that sense.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's
I
definitely
mean,
worth calling
multiple
out.
is perhaps not the maturity stage we're yet aiming for, but or is it?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
No, I mean, well, so this is a weird one because it kind of spans two stages, right? Because
Yeah.
it's heavy on the create side too. But yeah, I mean, I think we're iterating towards something pretty amazing. I know Create was working on syncing the environment with what's in the web IDE. Like that's going to be game changing, and enable us to do a lot of way cooler stuff once that's working. Because then you really will have the ability to like have this like running version of your app that is also connected to your web IDE. That's going to be slick.
Awesome. Let me see. So let's get back to milestone 11.9. Let me see. So one of the issues that perhaps is nice to discuss, and I will share my screen. See if I can do that. You're able to see my screen, right?
I can, yep.
All right. So we got this cross project triggered by MVC issue,
Yep.
which basically makes it so, right, that we are, we're able to get triggered by a project as soon as it's done, but be able to define that in the receiving project, right, the downstream.
Correct.
And
Correct.
let me see, I asked some questions downstairs. See that you answered already a little bit. You basically agree with me, so that's nice. Yeah, I was mainly wondering like, hey, I believe we already have everything in place for this. Do we absolutely need something extra? Because I think we can, keep this small as is and iterate if needed.
Yeah, I confirmed. I put a demo app together.
Nice. I'll check.
Yeah, I put a little demo app together just for this, and like because we're doing a lot with trigger, upstream, downstream, the recursive expanding, yada yada. So I've got like a little demo app for a bunch of those things. And yeah, so I confirmed that you're right. I think there's no front end that's needed at this point. Yeah, I don't think there's anything we need to do with that one.
Yeah, sounds good. See, this one has been added. Improved stop pipeline model that wasn't there before, but we'll see to it.
Yeah, I think that's relative to having Miranda new to the team, as to having John had asked me to find some like UI polish level things that would have an impact that she could work on to get familiar with the code base.
Yeah, I'll
think this was one of them. It's already labeled polish.
Oh, it got removed to polish. Oh wait, it is already. I see. Sorry.
Yeah, polish. Yep.
All right, nice. We'll get to that. That shouldn't be too big of a thing. Some protection of CI variables that is in the logs. I'll get to that as soon as possible as well. Yeah, my main point towards this currently is that it's it's in progress. I haven't too much to discuss right now in terms of that. I hope to make big progress in that this week, so that next week ultimately engineering has everything they need to get started working on it.
Yeah, that'll be good. There were some questions that Camille had in there that might be worth your eyes on them as well. Some concerns Camille had about implementing it. So,
And that was for the protection.
so that's simple
guys,
protection.
sure?
Yep. Yep.
All right. I'll look into that.
Great. Thanks.
Sounds good. So potential for possible UX research points, right? That is an interesting question.
Yeah, and I feel like I was trying to find this before the meeting and I couldn't find it. I feel like I might have tagged you in the one. I went through and did a lot of issue review last week. Just literally going through and trying to get a handle on the corpus of issues that are in Verify. I feel like there was one I might have tagged you on, and of course I did that, and now I can't find it myself. I had been talking with Sarah when she was interim, UX manager, director, whatever, what have you. And I said, hey, once you're back to research, I definitely, want to figure out how that all works and propose something, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I just wanted to bring it up in this meeting. I don't have anything specific to talk about. But if you had something burning in your mind of this is the thing.
Yeah, I think just my first thoughts towards this would be, are there any categories that are targeting Lovable inside Verify currently?
Mm-hmm.
For those, it would be very valuable to get, metrics that are correct, and perhaps do, qualitative interviews to get people throughout the flow and see what they notice, etc. Because that hasn't been done for a while.
Yep.
Apart from that, I think the potential for a interactive GitLab CI YAML editor, which can sort of compete with GitHub Actions, that kind of thing. I wonder, as that is starting out, I would say it's the best potential action we have there is just get the ball rolling. I don't say UX research would be very valuable from the start, because we know kind of what we want. But if we want that to get that down right, after some iterations, then something like that becomes very valuable suddenly.
Yep, that makes sense. Okay, great.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see what Sarah has to say as well on that. Sarah O'Donnell.
Yeah. No, I'm going to get together with her. I just haven't done it yet. So she's on my list of folks to meet post-transition.
Sounds good.
The next was just there's this big epic that I like because it organizes a lot of UX stuff. But I think we put it together a few months ago because it talks about a lot of 10 releases. And so basically, but you were kind of owning it. I kind of am itching to reorganize it and maybe make a couple maybe make an overall epic with some iterations underneath it. So basically, I just kind of want permission to, if I pull issues out of this epic, is that a problem or?
Not a problem at all.
All right.
I would say the intention with this issue was, and it was originally apparently created by me once ago, a while ago. But the intention and was to do a assessment of the current capabilities and flows of the Verify or CI entity back then. It's not just Verify. I believe you lost me there for a moment. To be honest, when looking at this again right now, I would rather see this as doing this per category instead of having an overall epic that kind of touches on a little bit of everything. As that would be very much more focused, and we have we could cater it towards the maturity stage that those categories are in. But that is my opinion here. I would be fine with closing this and starting a new epic all over again. That would be I think much more productive.
All right, great. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be in my backlog to do that, but I just kind of wanted to talk about it before I did it. So, okay.
Sounds good. And then next are 11.8 release post items.
Yeah, you just had asked about them, and I should have added those in. I just this morning added in the 2 items. One is the tolerations for Kubernetes executor. It's right there. It's on the left there.
Oh, wow. You click a few buttons. And...
Look what happens.
There it is. And it's gone again. Okay. What is up with this?
I don't know. Okay. Yeah, so this is, it was a community contribution, and it's a pretty complex thing to try and explain, especially if you don't know Kubernetes really well. But I tried to. So, yeah.
Interesting. Native support for taints and colorations in Kubernetes executor in GitLab running to support these types of workflows. That's pretty nice. And then the other one was on cross-project trigger ability, of course.
Yeah, that one is up higher. And I didn't have a great picture for it, but I stole just a general cross-project trigger.
Yeah, it's nice that we're now natively capable of getting cross-project pipelines running, in a way more easier format.
Yep.
I think that enables a lot more people. That's nice. I like going through those points. By the way, I don't know if, and this would perhaps be a good point to discuss next, although Rihanna isn't here. Stage group, dedication. So this point will perhaps be better discussed next time, but I believe it might be time now that there's a dedicated verify and dedicated release group, to split up and just take one for each. Doesn't really matter too much to me. I would say release is very much something that I like to work on, but verify has its upsides as well, right? Like it's our choice. But I think this is a great to discuss next time, and get a dedicated UXer for both of these stage groups.
Sure, makes sense.
I know that Rihanna is coming back tomorrow, as she is returning from a conference in America.
Gotcha.
And then she'll once again be available, so that's nice. All right, that's it from me. Are there any points from you or?
No, I don't think I have anything else.
Perhaps you, Kelly, had some points you wanted to discuss this meeting.
No. I actually was looking at the team meetings and saw this, and I didn't look at the complete title about UX, but it was interesting to listen to, and I like the cross project triggers. That's pretty cool. So.
Yeah, I agree there. It's
I'm
interesting.
I've got
coming up.
Yeah, I've got 2 epics, Kelly, that you might contribute to, or Dimitri too. But so like I'm kind of overriding the word lovable, but that's okay. I don't care. Mark can get mad at me. But I've got one for making microservices lovable with CI, and one for making monorepos lovable with CI. Right, so kind of different, but the similar things, right? So I think for microservices, a lot of the stuff we're doing with cross-project trigger and being able to see pipelines up and downstream are going to be critical. For monorepos, a lot of like the only changes stuff is a small step in the right direction, but there's a lot of other stuff we want to do. So if you take a look at, if you go to the verify direction page, I can
Hold on a second. Yep, let me just grab it.
Those should be listed, yeah. So I've got, if you look at, I kind of reorganized into 3 what I'm calling North Stars, right? And that's inspired by Release has some North Stars. But basically, under lovable solutions to complex problems, I actually tried to make the argument, but I got shot down that CI isn't lovable yet. We list CI as lovable. I think it's partially from a marketing standpoint. But anyway, I've got to make CI lovable parent epic, and until someone yells at me.
I would actually venture to say make CD lovable. The CI actually seems pretty decent.
Yeah, well, CD is release, right? We call that release. So that's
yeah.
We don't mark that as lovable today, right? So it's definitely not.
Fair enough.
It is lovable in the sense that you can love it, and I do love it. I just want to make it way better.
All right, so that's
you're on mute if you're talking too.
Sorry. Yeah, I was saying, what are your plans with better supporting monorepos?
So I don't have a great vision there yet. Part of it is, I think that the DAG and multiple pipelines in multiple files is going to be a step in the right direction. So I don't know that I have like the big long-term vision for monorepos down perfectly yet. I actually am building my own monorepo to then go try and deploy it with GitLab CI to then like learn like what stinks and doesn't work well. I've never done like a large scale. Well, I lie. I had a big monorepo back in the day, but it was an SVN and it was a language that's dead and so like I want to play with a more real world monorepo in GitLab. So I've got that. I've got a there's a group on GitLab called Brendan Demo that has a picture of that science dog that says I have no idea what I'm doing. That's where I'm like playing with a lot of this stuff. So
nice. I know James Ramsey has also been playing around with the Chromium repository, which is, I believe, kind of a monorepo.
Yes. I should talk to him. Monorepo. There's harder problems to solve on the Git side of that, right?
Yeah, I guess one of the things I would be curious about, Brendan, since I have your ear right now, is how close are we on getting Vault up and running? Because I'm looking back and it looks like right now it's on 11.10.
Yeah, it's one of my priorities. So there's an epic actually for that too.
Yep, I'm looking at it.
And that epic kind of shows like the next things that we're considering, because part of what we're going to consider in the long-term vision for that is bundling Vault with GitLab.
Yeah.
Which honestly is something Sid wants to see happen. Which doesn't mean it definitely happens because it's Sid, but it means we're taking it pretty seriously. And so that epic kind of talks about the road to that.
Gotcha.
I need to stand up Vault with CI today, figure out how bad it is.
Yep.
And then
sorry, go ahead. I keep on trying to interrupt you.
No, and then there's a community contribution from Splunk actually. That's fine. I mean, if someone looked, they would know who it is. But where they have kind of a thing, they call it the identity API, where they're having this ability to inject variables from a generic external API source.
Okay.
And so that's kind of like a generalized Vault integration in the sense that now, once you have that, you can then inject variables with Vault as the runner stood up, which is great, and we're trying to accept that. It's a massive security question mark and a bunch of it's just a lot of code and a lot to review, and we've been having a hard time reviewing community contributions. But we're working with them on that, and Steve's been on the phone with them even, like, we're trying. But then my question becomes, is that's great, and I think we should do that, because I think that would also allow you to then integrate like AWS, KMS, or like Google's, and like through that same method. But then the next step after that, so I want to get that community contribution in. But then right after that, I want to say, okay, but how can we make Vault a first-class integration, right? Like not super generalized thing.
So almost in a sense, it's almost like Gitly with respect to processing. It's an abstraction layer, right?
Exactly. That's how I'm thinking about it. But like, we just have not had time to like really put the engineering behind it. This Windows executor. Well, so two things happened, right? At the end, we lost 2 releases to security issues completely, basically. And then this Windows executor has taken a release and a half longer than we thought it would. And that's got a customer behind it who's very interested in it.